lovely people. We are back with the Quiet Quit series, and today we're going to be talking about goal setting. Now, this is the first live stream of the year. I've been on a little hiatus for a minute, but we are just going to kind of chit chat about goals. I do have a couple of tips that I am going to be using for myself. Also want to share in this live stream that I will also be making posts to hopefully help, obviously, myself and others stick to their goals, stay motivated, at least in the month of January, which is the month that I think is really crucial because it really sets you up for the rest of the year. And at least for me, I feel like with January, you have a ton of goals, you have a lot of goal planning, and it can be very demotivating when you start off on the wrong page with your goals. Maybe you're missing some goals, you're procrastinating, all that type of stuff. So the posts are going to be hopefully in help for that type of scenario, at least for January, to really get us off for a good start. As you can imagine, when you are really hitting your goals and you see a path forward, you see things getting marked off of your checklist and things, it helps keep you motivated for the rest of the year. So I just want to make sure we're on the right path. For me, I do have some different goals for the year, some of them being career oriented, others are very personal. I have some fitness goals, I have some financial goals, I have just some personal life goals that I want to do this year. And I have them bucketed into some short-term goals that will help me achieve my long-term goals. So we're going to talk about all of that. Why is goal setting so important? And this does tie in a bit to the Quiet Quit series. So we had talked about before in December, burnout and setting boundaries and all these things that you need to do. Well, I think you have to set your boundaries. You have to address things like burnout at work or with your business in order to be in a good mindset to be ready to kind of start fresh this year and set some good goals for yourself. You have to start with that good mindset. And in my opinion, I do believe goal setting is very important for a person's growth, whether that is your growth in your career, your business, your family life, and other things that you just want to achieve in your life. The most common goal I think that a lot of people make at the beginning of the year has to do with fitness. Everyone's like hitting the gym up, gotta lose some weight, right? That's like the most common one, I think. So as you're coming in, hello, Partly Cloudy. Let me know what your goals are if you would like to share. You don't have to at all, but if you do have some goals that you set for yourself, definitely welcome in. And we're going to talk about some different tips and tricks that you can use to help yourself along. And the first one just being knowing why setting goals are so important for ourselves. Setting goals is so important because it helps us grow. We don't really grow if we're not setting goals for ourselves. And Partly Cloudy, definitely let me know if you can hear me. And Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Again, I had a hiatus for a little bit because I was spending some time with my family, just, taking some rest and all that good stuff away from YouTube and work. And hello, Wellness at Frugal Mama. Let me know what your goals are for the year. Let me know if you can hear me okay as well, because I'm not testing myself out today. So we talked about why is goal setting important? We talked about the growth that we want to have for ourselves. Now, what is the big deal with setting your goal? Like, what do you have to start with? And I bring it back to someone that helped me years ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when I wanted to set some fitness goals for myself. And I met with a personal trainer. And the first thing this lady asked me was, what was my why? Why do I actually want to lose weight and tone my body? Well, that's the same thing you have to do when you want to set your goals, right? You have to really ask yourself, okay, I'm setting this clear goal for myself. Why do I even want to do this? Why is this important to me? And you know what? That is going to be your reminder. That is going to be your motivation to keep you on track, right? So if you don't have a strong why, you don't really know why you're doing it. Maybe someone told you need to do this, or you just feel like everyone's doing it. Everyone's losing weight. I need to lose weight too, whatever. it's very unlikely you're actually going to hit your goal because you're not motivated to actually do it in the first place. It's not really important to you. So that is going to be number one. Thank you for letting me know my sound is okay. I love that. We're starting off the year right with this audio. So that's the number one thing. You have to have your why. In something that I was told is to keep that why with you, right? With your goal. You have to write that why down so that you can go back to it and remind yourselves, because depending on what your goal is, maybe you want to pay off your house, maybe you want to pay off your car, maybe you want to start a business. These are not easy goals that you want to hit, right? It could even be smaller goals, but nothing comes without some type of challenge or obstacle. So you have to have something to hold on to where you can remind yourself, listen, this is why I am doing this. This is why I'm staying up late. This is why I'm doing the extra work. This is why I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera. Partly Cloudy says their goal is to eat more healthy. So we're going to talk more about the goal setting and something that I have for you with your healthy eating. And so stay with me. I'm going to give you some tips on that. So we talked about why goal setting is important. It's about the growth that we want to have for ourselves. We're talking about setting the why, your motivation. So Partly Cloudy, your goal is to eat more healthy. Why do you want to eat more healthy? What is your why? I know for some people, their why for eating healthy is they want to make sure that they're sticking around and they're able to live long enough to be able to see their grandkids, right? Something very specific that is your motivation for that goal that you want to attain. So the next thing I have for you, so eat more healthy. We want to set really smart goals for ourselves, right? What do I mean by smart? S-M-A-R-T. Well, this is this is something that's pretty common, I would say. It's an acronym. And the first letter in that acronym is specific. So you want to get away from the generalities. I'm not going to just say, hey, I want to lose some weight. We got to get really specific here, right? We got to get measurable. That's the M in SMART. So we want to be able to measure that goal. How will I even know if I've actually attained the goal? I say I want to lose weight. Well, I lost 1 pound. Did I achieve my goal? Hey, I lost 1 pound this month. I'm good. Check it off no. If I'm saying I want to lose some weight, I have to be very specific and I have to have something that's measurable, something that I can go back to and say, clearly, yes, I achieved my goal, right? So that is the M. And then we want to get into the A. So we want to make sure that we can actually do something that's achievable. So if I were to say right now, I want to lose 100 pounds, that's kind of not achievable for me because that will put me in a really big deficit when it comes to my weight. So that's not something that I should be doing or that I probably can do because it's not really achievable. It's not really realistic, which gets us to the R in that acronym. The next thing and the last thing that is a part of the acronym is the T. So we want to be smart. The T in that acronym is timely. I got to put some time limits on that, right? I don't want to just say, hey, I want to lose weight. Partly Cloudy saying, hey, we got to eat more healthy. I got to be very specific, and I have to also make sure it's measurable, and I want to make sure it's achievable and realistic and timely. I have to set a time to it. So by the end of this month, I want to have lost 5 pounds off of my body, right? That's a more specific goal, right? When it comes to healthy eating, maybe you set for yourself, you want to eat at least 5 servings of fruits or vegetables every single day, right? That is an achievable task. You can check off whether you did it or not. Saying your goal is to eat more healthy. Hey, I ate a cup of broccoli today and some chips and some cookies and some ice cream, but hey, I ate that broccoli, so I am eating healthy. So it's not as specific, it's not quite as measurable. Let me know if you get what I'm saying. So that's what we want to start with. The next thing is once we have that SMART, S-M-A-R-T goal, for ourselves. So it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's timely. So we got a time limit on there, right? We don't just say, hey, we want to lose weight, and I don't know when we got to lose this weight, but we're going to lose this weight. It could be this year, it could be next year, whatever. We want to make sure that we have either smaller goals to help us get to maybe a big goal. So let's say I gotta pay off my house. How am I going to do that? If I say, if I'm going to pay off my house completely at the end of this year, December 31st, 2023, house paid off. Well, that's a really big goal. How do I actually do that? Eating more healthy. That is a big goal in itself. If you're saying, I want to eat 5 servings of fruits and veggies every single day. Well, how are we going to do that? So we're going to have to set some smaller goals or some subtasks to help us reach that goal that we set for ourselves, right? So with that, and hello, Twisted V Twin Garage. How are you? Let me know what your goal is. That is our topic. So how am I going to reach that goal? Well, with the healthy eating. Maybe I am going to set a task for myself to make sure I have meal prepped my lunch and my dinner, my breakfast the day before. I will go grocery shopping every Sunday and purchase a list of fruits and veggies. So you have your list. This is what you're purchasing through the week. You are going to develop or find meal plans that are including plant-based, nutritious foods. These different tasks you can do to make sure that they're setting you up for success. These are tasks that will help you reach the ultimate goal that you're looking to attain, right? So the next thing I have for you is I want you to remember the why. Now, the reason I started with the why is because I want you to set up goals that actually do motivate you. These are things that you aren't going to feel like you're just forced to do it, right? You have to really align in some way with something you like to do. So let's say if I set a fitness goal for myself. Well, I don't like going to the gym. So if I were to set up a goal, hey, I am going to go to the gym 5 times a week, every single month, every single week out of every month, I am hitting that gym. I'm going to be at the gym for each hour or for an hour and a half, and I am going to go at this time every single day. I am not motivated by the gym. I don't even have a why of why I really want to go to a gym. So could I get a little flexible with that to make sure that it's a goal that can also motivate me? Yes, I can. With the healthy eating, going back to Partly Cloudy's goal. Well, maybe you hate vegetables. I don't know this. I'm just making this up, Partly Cloudy. But maybe you hate vegetables. You hate them with a passion. Well, how can we tie that into something that you actually enjoy? Maybe you actually do enjoy cooking, though. So finding some healthy, nutritious meals and some ways to kind of weed in veggies but make them taste delicious could be a challenge that motivates you, right? So tying in your motivation and your interest into your goal can be a great way to help keep you motivated. All right. Okay, so this is my next thing and this has always been helpful for me. Whenever I have things that I have to do or goals that I need to attain throughout a year, I have to write them down. And there are a lot of people out there, and I've been there myself when I haven't written something down, where I'm like, oh, I'll remember this. I got it. It's all up in here. It's in there. I got this. Well, no, a lot of times we don't really got this. So my next tip is going to be with attaining your goal. Once you have that SMART goal that we just talked about, it's a really strong, solid goal that you have for yourself, and you'll be motivated by it and you'll likely stay on task with it. Well, we want to make sure that we are able to kind of, what do I want to say here? Keep it in front of you. Keep it to a point to where you can focus on it. So don't like write down your goal, put it in a notebook and hide it away. You want to actually write down your goal and then put it somewhere where you can see it. Maybe your goal, you're writing it on your calendar every day. Maybe you're putting it on your laptop computer every day. Maybe it's up in your bathroom somewhere every day. Maybe you're getting a giant calendar and writing on it and putting it in your bedroom. So when you wake up every day, you see it, right? Different things you can do to make sure it's right in front of you. Hello, Tay Weezy. Welcome in. Let me know what your goal is for the year or for this month. Let me know what your goals are. We're talking about ways that you can make sure that you achieve the goals that you're setting, and Wellness Frugal Mama as well. Okay, so we talked about writing it down. Let me know if you agree with writing it down or you feel like you can keep it all in here. For most people, I am telling you, the keeping it all in here just does not work. And there's also, from an energy level, that's another topic, but there's something about writing something down, right? And if you're a religious person, you can kind of go into the word, right? And this speaking something into existence, writing something into existence. You're creating something, you're manifesting. So there's something to that level too, which we want to talk about in this video. But make sure you're writing this stuff down, write your goals and put it in front of you so that you can stay focused with it. All right, so the next one that I want you to note is you have to think about your goal before you really dive into it, along with the motivation and your why. The other thing that you have to have can sound a little negative. However, it is obstacles. You have to think about the obstacles, right? So we have been talking about Partly Cloudy's goal with eating healthy. Hey, King of Kill, welcome in. Shout out to my member, King of Kill, staying strong with me. Happy New Year to you, King of Kill. Also, I have a video coming that you asked me for a while back. I'll be talking about it and members only. So talking about obstacles. So yes, we're staying positive. We got our why. This is a good thing. The obstacles can also be looked at as a good thing if you're preparing for them. You have to know yourself. If you're in Partly Cloudy's case, you're trying to eat healthy. And we said for his goal, he could have the specific or SMART goal of, I want to eat 5 servings of veggies and fruit every single day, right? That could be looked at as a SMART goal. You can measure it, it's specific, it's achievable, in my opinion. And it is timely because you got that timestamp on there. You want to do this every day. So an obstacle for Partly Cloudy may be he likes to drink a little something every once in a while. He likes, maybe a cocktail. He likes some beer. He likes some whiskey. I don't know. But he likes to get a little drink. Well, does that help him in achieving his goal of eating healthy? Maybe not, because this is an entry point. It's an obstacle for him because with this drink, he likes to eat potato chips and he likes a nice, good piece of fried chicken with it, and he likes a certain meal that may not be healthy, and it doesn't include any fruits and vegetables, right? For someone that's trying to pay off their house, an obstacle for them may be they don't have a budget. They don't know what's coming in and what's going out. Well, going back to those sub goals, we have to weave that in. We have to kind of look at the different little tasks that we need to do. And we also have to, within that, think about the obstacles. What are the obstacles that can be in my way that I need to address now? And I can build a contingency plan around that. I can kind of fight the obstacle before I even get into it. So we're going to try as much as we can in the beginning to prepare ourselves for success, right? So that's the thinking here. Let's see. Wellness with Frugal Mama says, my goals are simple. Update. We'll get passports and save money. So my challenge for you, Wellness with Frugal Mama, would be to make it into a SMART goal, because I think it's really easy for a lot of us to say, listen, I need to save some money. I need to make more money. I need to get this, right? Or get this passport. Well, passport is relatively easy, I would say, but there's subtasks that you need to do with that even. Have to get the photos, right? You got to get the money to pay for the passport. You got to figure out where you want to go to get the passport. You got to fill out the forms, right? So got to make the time to go to maybe the post office to get your passport, right? So there's little things you have to do beforehand. And then of course you want to set a time limit on that. So when do you want to get your passport? Do you want to say, I want to get my passport and have it before January 31st? So think about some of those aspects of the SMART goal. It's really tough a lot of times when we're generalizing our goals because it doesn't set us up for success. We don't have a time limit on it a lot of times. So we'll say, yeah, we'll get that passport. And then it's July and you want to go to, I don't know, you want to go to Bolivia. Oh, I have that passport. It's going to take a minute. It's going to take maybe, a little bit. I got to get the pictures. I got to go fill out these forms. I got to make time for that because the post office only open for this time. And then, it hits you, right? So we want to make sure that these are SMART goals as well. But I hear you. Those are all solid goals. I think everyone needs to have those goals, actually. Definitely agree. Okay, so we talked about the obstacles, we're planning contingencies for them, and we're talking about those sub goals that we need to do in order to achieve that larger or main goal, right? The other thing I want to talk about is a positive note, right? We got to do something here. We got to, when we hit a goal for ourselves, we need to recognize ourselves in that moment. Now, for the person that said healthy eating, partly cloudy, I'm not saying you've been eating healthy all week, you've been hitting that goal all week, getting 5 servings of fruits and veggies every day, and then you say, all right, I'm doing pretty good. I'm gonna skip the veggies and fruit today and actually have, nice steak and some mashed potatoes and a nice cheesecake. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to recognize yourself in a way that doesn't impact or hindrance you hitting your goals and continuing on track. But you can definitely hit, your sub goals and recognize yourself for it and celebrate in some kind of way. So definitely recognize yourself. It's really important from a psychological aspect. And this is also a good reason why you should have those subtasks or smaller goals that can help you achieve the larger goals that you're looking to attain, right? So even with like the house payoff, you want to pay off your mortgage. Every month, if you're on track with something, you can define, hey, I'm going to celebrate in this way. Maybe with that, you are, I don't know, going out to a nice restaurant, you build in your budget some space to do that, right? While not impacting or hindering or being a hindrance to reaching your goal. So that's something that's important from a psychological aspect. Now, this is something that Dave Ramsey talks about in his baby steps as well. I do agree with him. I have my thing with Dave Ramsey sometimes. I do. I don't completely agree with him, but I do agree with him with this aspect because it is a psychological thing. A lot of this is mentality, right? Mind over matter. And so if you can achieve something, you feel that achievement. And when you're breaking up a big goal into smaller tasks, it can really help you continue to stay motivated, right? When you're able to recognize yourself in those moments when you're achieving things. Partly Cloudy says, not 5, but I have been going in on the veggies and I'm about to grow my own food. Okay. So just make sure it's a SMART goal, of course. Again, measurable. We have to be able to measure it so someone can come in and say, yes, Partly Cloudy did this. He achieved his goal and did it in a timely manner. So if you're starting a garden to grow your own food, well, by what time do you want to have that garden all set up? Do you have to get seeds? Do you have to go in and plant those seeds? Is there certain weather conditions or a certain season that you have to do this by, right? You have to have everything planted and watered and all that stuff, right? I know a ton goes into gardening, so I'm not even gonna start. I have a friend that has her own garden, and whew, that seems like a lot of work. I think I would want to try that one day, but not for me right now. Okay, so this is just another tip, is to not set too many goals for yourself at one time. So let's say you want to do like 10 different goals throughout the year. You want to pay off your house, pay off your car. You want to get a new job. You want to lose, I don't know, within the year, 50 pounds. You want to go traveling 5 times a year out of the country. You want to X, Y, and Z, right? Try not to multitask your goals and try as best as you can, if possible, to set up the goals. And this kind of goes into my earlier point of having those subtasks and goals that help you reach larger goals. Tie in goals together whenever you can, right? So that they can align. When you have a ton of goals, it can be really easy to procrastinate them because it makes it really hard to kind of see yourself achieving all of them, right? And keeping the focus on all of them. So have maybe, in January, even if you have to break it up into months. Hey, in January, I'm focused on this goal. In the month of February, I'm going to be focused on this goal and achieving it. And I'm going to set the deadline to the end of the month. Whatever you have to do to kind of break it up so that your mind isn't just like in 10 different places with trying to achieve all these goals. So you don't, multitasking is something that we say works, but realistically, people aren't giving 100% to 10 different things. Multitasking really isn't helpful to us. It really just spreads us thin and doesn't allow us to really do a deep dive on whatever it is that we're trying to do. Okay, so those were my main points. The last couple are going to be things that will hold you kind of to your goals, right? So the setbacks, we talked about the obstacles. Now, going into your goal, you want to keep the thinking that, yes, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, but your thinking is going to be those obstacles, those setbacks are not going to hold me back. All right? It's going to happen, whatever, we're going to move on and forward, right? The next one is and I think this is like the most important one actually, is to keep yourself accountable. So whether that is you needing to set up check-in meetings with maybe a career coach or just a coach, a personal fitness person, a friend, your partner, whoever that is, that can really keep you accountable, right? That can really stay on you. And I think the coaches, whenever you have a coach, they can really help with that because that is a part of their job, is to really help you along and have check-ins with you. If you don't want to pay for like a coach or fitness expert or trainer, you can also set up, calls with someone that maybe it's your mom. You set up a call with your mom every day. You tell her like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And you just have kind of this check-in with this person, or your friend or your brother or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, right? And you check in with them, or maybe you check in with them every week and you say, this is what I did this week. Or maybe they are supposed to ask you, what did you do this week, right? So to achieve your goal. The other thing is, if you don't want to tell anybody, because I don't think you have to tell people your goals. Sometimes that can be harmful in many ways because other people can give you negative talk that you really don't need. So you want to be in a positive mindset. And if you know that every person around you is toxic, and they're going to say, oh, you can't do that. How are you going to do that? What? How? That's impossible. And all of these different things that you don't need to hear, right? You can do things like setting up time blocks in your calendar, using different project management tools, using a checklist that you have, again, in front of you, where you are holding yourself accountable to seeing it every day and checking things off or not checking things off. It's really tough when you have to check things off and you actually didn't do something and you can't check something off. That can be hard. So that was my last point. Keeping accountability, making sure that you are holding yourself accountable. And if you know yourself, because we talked about obstacles. So if I know myself and I know I will not do this, getting yourself an accountability partner that can really hold you accountable to whatever the task is that you have set for yourself. So with that, I am going to close out this video. It was really nice to chat with you at the beginning of the year and set up the Quiet Quit series with this conversation about goal setting. Now, we talked about boundaries already, so I didn't get into it, but with reaching your goals, you're going to have to cut out the distractions, right? So setting those boundaries, which we talked about in the prior video in our Quiet Quit series, is going to be super important. If you have a fitness goal and your job is asking you to work, 5 extra hours, and now it's like impacting your fitness goal. Well, you need to figure out a way to set a boundary, to figure out a way to be flexible with work. Like, how can they be flexible with your work so that you can actually achieve your personal goal. We can't always just allow other aspects of life to take over to the point that we can't really reach the things that we have set for ourselves. So we have to really find a balance, set some boundaries with that as well in order to achieve our goals as well. So anywho, thank you all for listening, and it was nice to see you today in this month of January 2023. I wish you all the best in the new year, and I wish that you achieve all your goals this year. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I will be making some posts. They are set to go out throughout the month. Actually, I've already made the posts, so they will be set and they're scheduled to go out throughout the month to help me and you set all the goals that we have set for ourselves. So have a great evening, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye, lovely people.